Well, I want to say this morning, I'm thankful to be here. Thank God that He has allowed me to be in the United States of America. I think that as we look at what's happening to this nation, a lot of it is our fault because we have abandoned the language. We have allowed these people to come and tell us what we are and who they want us to be. We need to take back our language, okay? They got, when people go around here and tell you that there's a war on women and you get involved with that nonsense, you're helping them. When people are afraid to criticize Obama because they figure that somehow or another that makes them a racist. Well, if racist means you're right, then you should be a racist because they're wrong. And so I've been telling people for a long time that language is very, very important. You know, who are the American people? You hear Republicans say, the American people want us to do this. The Democrats say, the American people want us to do that. Who are the American people? We have to start defining who we are instead of letting them define what they want us to be. Anybody who has any sense of intelligence should know that they should have better sense than a mosquito when it comes to the environment. Bugs got better sense to know that global warming is nature's. They come out every year. They don't come out in the wintertime when it's freezing. But yet and still we got an imam up there in the White House who tell us that global warming is our most desperate situation. Go into the Coast Guards and told them that where people are being killed and slaughtered, that the environment is our worst problem. This is nonsense. How do we sit back and allow this to happen? We need to start speaking up. As I've told people on numerous occasions, this is the greatest country in the world. And yet still the Democrats are constantly making it seem as if somehow black people, you understand, must always be indebted and find white people guilty. And I try to tell people over the air a lot of times, if you don't like this country, let us help you find another country to go to. Okay, you know what I mean? But no, they want to make us African Americans. Well, I just want to be an American. Okay, that's how I want to be judged. You understand? They tell us that other people are. That they are people of color, but white people don't have color. Well, I went to school, and they told me there was 8 colors, right? White was one of them. So I see you all here, so you're not invisible. But how do we allow them to give us this nonsensical rhetoric, and we believe it? Just like, say now, I'm promoting National Recognition of Heterosexual Appreciation Month. I don't necessarily want to be the leader of it, but somebody got to take position on life more abundantly. You have homosexuality is running rampant, and we sit back and say, well, we got to allow it because that's fair and balanced or that's diversity. I'm saying you don't. In the Bible, it states what we should be about. In Genesis 1:28, it says that we should multiply and replenish the earth. Well, if you can't produce, how can you replenish? So what it is that they have begun to make us feel like we are the abnormals, that we are the victims. Instead of us saying, well, wait a minute, we're not going to let you become freeloading parasites on our children. And that's what it is. They take your children and convert them into something that is about death. And I'm saying that whether it's the flag, the national anthem, this great country, we have to start speaking up and not be cowards. Because it's when they come for us, it's not going to make any difference to them. They're going to do to you exactly what the Muslims are doing over there in that country, over in the Middle East. They're going to slaughter us randomly or collectively. It don't make no difference. And if we don't stand up, and it's too bad that people such as ourselves have to do a lot of fighting because a lot of these kids don't have the brains of a headless chicken. I mean, you know, you look at the Waters world and they don't even know where they are half the time. But that's by design, because the more ignorant people that you have, the better you can control them. Yeah. The same way with poverty. it's a madness. I mean, I said it's a rationale in what the Democrats are doing to keep people poor, keep them begging for government assistance. Because the more you can control the money and control people, the more power that you have. And on Joshua's trail, I really have to give Reverend Ewell credit, and the whole round table, Ron included, and Dale and even Janice. We try to speak the truth. And if you're gonna go down the, how should I say, go down the road of extinction, you might as well tell the truth. And the truth is that this is the greatest country. The Democrats are evil. Obama is maniacal. How come we can't say that? You understand? When they get up there and tell you, understand that what is happening in Ferguson and Baltimore, you understand, is symptomatic of global warming. You understand? I mean, how nonsense can you be? Huh? I mean, you know, global warming, climate change, and people sit back docilely and accept it. Well, I don't. And I'm not ashamed to tell people this. I know that slavery may have been a terrible thing in some of the incidents, but I thank God that somebody was on that ship when they came to this country for me. Because in this country, you have an opportunity to become what you want to be if you want to get out there and do it. But yet, see, when you talk to a lot of these plantationists who go around and they put a microphone in their face and you try to get a comment from them, they always tell you this and say, well, we've come a long way, but we still got a long way to go. And I'm trying to say, well, where is that? How far do you keep going when you're at the top, right? You accept this fraud up there as being black, which he's not, but you accept him. So if you're at the top, where do you go after this? And yet still you find so many people who are too much of a coward to speak the truth. This I detest, this I abhor. I believe that we who are on the God side should speak up boldly, because God, you understand, created this country, and God made it possible for us to have the greatest freedom in the world. And we keep asking people, if you don't like this country, why don't you leave? You understand? I mean, you know, I'm looking at Ron and Denise over there, and you know, and now Ron, when you gonna stop beating up Denise? Huh? Because I know it's a war on women, right? I mean, how stupid? Yeah, you know what I mean. And Janice, when the last time did I hit you? When the last time did I hit you, Janice?
I don't remember.
Yeah, well, see there. See, I'm being derelict in my duty, right? War on women. How do we accept this nonsense?
Sit here.
Oh. You racist, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay. I mean, the nonsense is so prevalent to only an idiot could believe what these people say. You understand? I mean, you know, women in the military is going to be our salvation. Well, when you put women in the military, they still women. And the men in the military are going to still be men. Then when you put them in there, then you come out with a report that says, sexual harassment in the military has increased. Well, I guess so. You know what I mean? But this is what they do to us. And so I'm saying, as we go forward in 2016, we better take hold of our reasoning with these people. And I really hope that you all will support my effort to make June National Heterosexual Recognition Appreciation Month. I'd just like to say something about that right quick before my time runs out. And I want to thank Barb and whoever invited me for letting me come and say this. Life is right. Life is right. If you got something better than life, I like to see it. You see? All right? Because if we don't protect life, if we don't protect our children, and this is who they come for first, the children. And you got some children who are totally confused. Kids 3 and 4 years old are being taught that they can change their gender. Okay? People are being taught and saying that marriage is wrong, that killing is right. National Heterosexual Recognition and Appreciation Month is for us to take back the advocacy of life. and that more abundantly. You know, when you read Genesis 1:28 and it tells us to replenish, if two guys can't have a baby and two females can't have a baby, then who is left to replenish? Janice, you know, heterosexuals, right? We have to thank God for that creation. When, you know, God has given women something very exclusive, the ability to bring forth life, birth. Okay, that should be heralded, that should be praised. But yet still, we want to talk about two mommies, two daddies, you know what I mean, what's it, LBGTYN, whatever the alphabets are, you saying? I mean, if it ain't that right, if it's not that today, it'll be there tomorrow, they'll find somebody else, you know. And the Boy Scouts has been corrupted. The Girl Scouts has been corrupted. And if you remember, about 10 years ago, they said, all we want, I'm talking about those them other people, said all we want to do is be left alone. What we do behind closed doors and adult is okay. Well, if you know anything about incrementalism, you know they don't stop there. They never stop there. Now it's, you got to bake us a cake. Well, if you want a cake baked, go to Kroger's or go somebody, get your cake mix and bake your own cake. Don't ask me to bake your cake. They want us to photograph their weddings. Get your own camera or your cell phone, take your own pictures. Why should we have to come into your house of iniquity and accommodate you? But they do it because they figure that we stupid, they don't respect us. And if we don't start getting this respect, and saying, our coming generations are going to be just like Sodom and Gomorrah. So that's the reason why I said when you talk to your neighbors, tell them in whatever way they choose, let's praise life. Let's talk about motherhood and fatherhood and marriage and families, the good things that are necessary to keep humanity going. As I said in my commentary, when people ask me, well, what is National Heterosexual Recognition and Appreciation Month about? I said very simply, to preserve humanity. It's as simple as that. Because at the rate we're going, if we don't, we're going to be like some of those extinct tribes that disappeared. Okay, so it's up to us and to love this country, love life, and become more patriotic and vocal. 2 minutes. More patriotic and more patriotic and more vocal in stating what we believe. Don't be ashamed. Don't be afraid, because there's a lot of people out there. You know what I mean? And I met Janice some years ago, and she was a soldier then. A fighter then. Met Ron, Denise, fighting all these many years. Charles, I can name a whole bunch of people. My girl Shirley, and Boris, all of you people who have been coming for years fighting this battle, don't give up. Keep listening, keep fighting. And when a person calls you some name, a derogatory name, what you said this, you're a racist, ask them to explain to you what a racist is. And I guarantee you'll win the argument. You understand? Just ask them. Start asking them when they call you something, ask them to explain it. I guarantee you they can't, because liberalism is about emotions. Liberalism is about lying. Liberalism is about deceit. Democrat Party is about all of them, okay? And you have to wonder, what's the nexus between Muslims, Democrats, and liberals, and socialists? The primary thing in my estimation is that they all hate God and they all want to destroy Christianity, because Christianity stands in the way of their agenda. So if anything, if you take nothing else out of here today that I've said, we believe this: life is right. And if life is right, then we can't be wrong, okay? So I want to say to everybody here, keep listening, fight, talk to people next month in any way you choose, but don't let them tell you that a guy can change his gender. I mean, you know, with no fallopian tubes, no uterus, no nothing, but he can become a woman, huh? No, that's a lie. We must let them know that it's a lie, and that we believe in God, we believe in the Christian ethics, and that we are willing to fight for this great country called the United States of America. I am. And I believe that others in this room are, and those who are not here are. And I had said this to Charles. when Charles started saying, vote out every Democrat you can find, being revelatory. Well, Charles, all Democrats ain't bad, but you know what? I have an analogy of this. When you go to wash your clothes, right? All your clothes may not be as dirty, but you put them all in there so they can come out cleaner. So that's what we need to do. So thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it.